March 8th, 2023. He was sitting right over there in that spot. Kelvin Beachum on our show on the Burns Gambo show.
What does he have to do, in your opinion, to be great?
Grow up.
Give me an example.
Be a man and grow up. Like, it's not complicated. You got to be a leader of men, period.
And he's not right now.
He's maturing.
But he's not there yet.
He's not there. It's not a completed process.
It's not a completed process.
It was a big that was a big deal.
Yeah, sure.
That was a big deal. That was a player on the team, a respected leader of the team, telling Kyler Murray to grow up.
Yeah. And that was about 3 months after Kyler tore out his knee, and that was about 2 months.
What was the date of that?
March 8th. March 8th of 2023 was when that happened. And he blew out his knee in December
a year and a half
22.
ago?
Yeah, it was
a year and a half ago.
Year and a half ago when he said that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a year and a half ago when he said that. So yesterday, Kelvin Beachum was a guest on the Cardinals Corner podcast hosted by Tyler Drake and our own Lauren Koval. And directly asked about his comments from a year and a half ago. It's a longer answer, but it tells you everything you need to know.
I'm saying comfort. Honestly, I'm seeing comfort in the fact that he feels good about the system. You can tell that there is a level of swag that's starting to come back into his game, and it's a level of intimacy with the system that you want to see from a quarterback. So I would say he's taken the bull by the horns and really has found a way to entrench himself in this offense and understand this offense in an intimate manner. And I think that bodes well for us as a team. So as it pertains to him continuing to mature as a quarterback, I think that is accurate. He's continuing to mature, and he's continuing to be what we all know that he can be in this particular system and for this particular franchise as being, a top quarterback in the National Football League. And I think this system is allowing him to thrive and do the things that he does very, very well and being able to put that on display. And I think the organization has done a really good job of surrounding him with pieces. Mike Wilson, Marvin, JC, you got the young buck and running back. They've done a really good job of putting pieces around him. Greg Dortch, you got an offensive line that I think has done a superb job of keeping him upright. Now we got to find a way to do that consistently throughout the year, especially with the way in which we've been running the ball and ran the ball last year and been able to take some of those good things into this year.
Calvin Beachum's awesome. He's just awesome. He's awesome.
He is, isn't he?
I mean, just speaks well and eloquently and all the things that he said. The young buck, because he couldn't remember Trey Benson's name. But look, I love that we're here. I mean, I love the fact that a year and a half later, this is no longer an issue. Nobody's questioning the maturity of Kyler Murray. Nobody's saying that he needs to grow up. Everybody's saying that all he does is all the right things. Now, with that being said, I'll go back to something we talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. Now it's got to transfer to elite level play on the field.
Amen.
Because you have to warrant the contract that was given to you as one of the top quarterbacks, and you've got to now lead this team back to the playoffs, playoff victories, be a contender year after year. Be that guy whose team has a chance to win every year because you're their quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't do that, it's certainly not going to be because you didn't put all the effort in. It would be because you might not be good enough. I tend to think that he is good enough.
This seems to me to be the only offseason, the only preseason summer where you can sit there as an organization and say, man, our culture is great. And what Jonathan Gannon has done and what Monty Austinfort has done. And I'll throw Kyler in there, what Kyler has done. This is the last offseason where you can hang your hat on those hooks and say, that matters. Look, it always matters. But look at what we've done. Look at what Kyler's done. Look at what the culture we've created. Look what Gannon and Monty have done. Once they kick off the season against the Buffalo Bills in week 1, and once they play these 17 games, it's gone. All that's gone. None of that matters. I mean, it matters.
The Bills game matters.
But you will not be judged by that anymore. That no longer becomes the standard by which we term you a success or not. That all changes week 1 against Buffalo.
To your point, they lose 31-10 to the Bills. The offense doesn't move the ball that well. We're not going to come in here. But Kyler Murray worked really hard in the offseason.
Nope.
He really did. He worked so hard. I know they only scored 10 points,
That's all gone.
Guys, do you not remember how hard he was the first guy there? Remember his Lambo? That Lambo was the first one. It was the first one there and the last to leave.
Uh-huh.
He got everybody together in California, but they only scored 10 points. But he got everybody together in California.
Yeah.
Does that now count for anything? No, it doesn't. So all of those things don't matter if you don't go out there and play well.
Yeah, and not to demean all of that great stuff that he did or they did or that they've done or anything like that. It all gets baked into the final equation. But wins and losses, starting on September 8th, I think is the day of that game, starting September 8th, wins and losses, wins and losses, wins and losses. Everything else is a different language. Everything else is, it matters, but it's not ultimately the standard. Speaking of which, play this cut today. This is LJ Collier meeting with the media. Then we'll talk about the contract extension because I want to get into that too. LJ Collier today was asked a question about how different the defense is going to be this year under Nick Rallis. And at the end of the answer, he said something that's getting a lot of attention.
Oh, man, look, there's definitely been some X's and some O's being fixed there. Nick, learning from things last year. I thought they did a great job last year. And it's one of those things where I've told JJ and Bilal, if we follow the blueprint that they laid out for us, we'll go far. Because I've seen plenty of times where guys were coming free last year and getting sacks and things like that. And look, like I said about JJ and Bilal, those are two smart guys. The questions they ask, things like that, you guys have been in front of them. Those guys are amazing. And the questions they ask and the positions they put themselves in. So I really feel like there's going to be a great jump from the beginning of last year to this year. And I really do think week 1 in Buffalo, we're going to put the league on notice. Because I feel like that'd be the perfect team to do it because, hell, everybody thinks they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. So why not start with the Super Bowl contenders and put ourselves in the mix?
Week 1, we're going to put the league on notice.
And they would if they beat Buffalo.
Yes, they would. Oh, you bet.
You go to Buffalo.
Yep.
And you beat the Bills there. You'll put the you'll put the league on notice for sure. Mm-hmm. That's a big win.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Contract extension today went to Yelda Froholt.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
Anytime a Viking, a true Viking, somebody whose blood goes back to Ragnar Lothbrok.
Not the ones at Sunny Slope, right?
Believes he's going to one day feast with Odin.
Yeah, no, not those Vikings. $12 million, $8 million guaranteed. It keeps him under center with Arizona through the 2026 season. Here's Yelda Froholt with Wolf and Luke.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Definitely. I love it here. I love this team, and I love the trajectory that we're on. So it's definitely exciting.
Here's Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's exactly what you want in a Cardinal, and glad to see Monty and his people and himself got that done. Excited for him. He deserves every penny.
Zaven Collins. Yelda Froholt.
Yes. Starting to spend some of that money now, right? That's why you've got some of that money.
Who's next? Is anybody
next? I don't know. I don't know. You obviously you save some money for injuries, but once you get through training camp and if you don't have to replace anybody, we haven't heard any other signs about them going out and addressing a Hassan Reddick situation or a pass. Or they were never going to go get Matthew Judon. That wasn't going to happen. I know you're waiting for you're waiting for Buddha to see if it's going to be Buddha.
Wondering about, I don't know about waiting on Buddha. Wondering about Buddha. I'm wondering about Buddha and whether that might be one they wait on. And I can't remember. I really wish I could remember who said this on Twitter because it was a really good point. One of the top rated rookies so far in the preseason has been Dadrian Taylor Demerson, the safety they got in the 4th round.
Great interception on the sideline. I had a play earlier. I know Wolf was in the game. Wolf was criticizing him for like a hit where he hit the guy, but he didn't really make the tackle. And then later on, he comes back with that interception. He's looked good. Looked good.
Is he Buddha's replacement? Is he?
There's always somebody's replacement.
Right? Is he the guy who makes Buddha? He's not the player Buddha is, but if he flashes and shows you think that he can be the next Buddha, now you don't have to pay Buddha in the offseason if you don't want to. You can let him walk as a free agent and take the chance that it might come to bite you or it might not. And then the money you save by not spending it on Buddha, now you can go address whatever else you want to address with that. I know Buddha's popular. Yeah. I understand he's one of the most popular players, but this is how the great teams do it, right? They recognize when a player
Steelers are always the best
has passed his payday prime.
Get rid of a guy a year too early instead of a year too late.
Absolutely.
The Steelers were really good at it for a long time. We're going to get rid of a guy a year too early rather than get rid of him a year too late. The problem the Cardinals have is just the enormous amount of money they have in their two safeties. Between Jalen and Buddha, there's a lot of that defensive money tied up in those two guys.
Yes, and that's a little out of balance compared to the rest of the league.
Yeah,
I think
we
would all agree.
Sure.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.